Like, for instance, how do you think George would do against Hamzat? How do you think he would do? How do you think he would do against, you think he would just mop the floor with Muhammad? Those guys rank 3 and 4. You know? You're telling me Gilbert Burns isn't more well-rounded than a lot of guys that GSP fought? Name a guy in the top 6 that's not more well-rounded than Matt Hughes or Josh Koscheck. This isn't a hard debate.
Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What's up, fam? Monday morning. Welcome. March 27th. Spring break for most of the kiddos out there. The kids are on break, which is a nightmare for the parents. If you're not going on vacation, you're trapped in the house with those demons for the next week or so. So shout out to all the parents out there, man. You got to figure out what to do with the kiddos. I dropped my kid off at a soccer camp this morning. It was windy. I don't see how they're going to play soccer, but not my problem. That's on the coach. Even the goals were like blown over. He's like, we'll figure it out. I'm like, have fun, man. I'll be back at 2, you know? So shout out to the parents out there dealing with spring break right now. Our breaks are different, aren't they? Fresh off the plane from Tacoma. Shout out to Tacoma. For whatever reason, it makes no sense when you look at analytics because the way they book touring, a lot of times, I mean, obviously you want to do new markets, but a lot of times if you're doing like a theater or a big venue, they'll do it based off you're following on Instagram, on social media in general, or on YouTube, and they'll break it down by city. And for whatever reason, the Pacific Northwest is not that big when it comes to social media for me, breakdown, or YouTube. But I sell more tickets in the Pacific Northwest more than anywhere else. Always. Since I've been doing comedy for 8 years, I always sell the most tickets up there for whatever reason. I don't know if it's my love for serial killers, because there's a ton of them that are from those areas. And I actually walked to Ted Bundy's house. That's me, man. That's me. So that's Ted Bundy's childhood home, which is weird. That guy put, I thought that was the home you bought for your mom before I read the comment. Can you imagine?
Honestly, that when I first saw this picture too, I thought this would be the mother's home. I didn't realize.
I didn't think about that. Can you imagine? Like, here's your house. It's this little old Ted Bundy house.
So can we talk about real quick that you actually bought your freaking mother-in-law a house? That is so freaking cool, dude.
Thanks, brother.
So fucking cool.
Thanks, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want to play this?
What Theo using his Spanish there?
Let's see the translation.
Whatever you're doing, whether you're in entertainment, podcasting, YouTuber, regular gig, whatever it is, your goal always is to buy your parents a house. Kids are playing hide and go seek. The goal is always buy your parents a house. Well, today, all that hard work, all those tour dates, all that stuff, it's come to fruition. I'm buying my mother-in-law a house. She's the best grandma in the world. She has no idea this is happening. She's going to pull up the house. I'm going to give her the keys. So I want to thank the fans out there for making this possible, buying every single ticket to all those crazy cities I was in. To the haters, too. You motivate me more than you know. But I love you guys. And what's up, guys, today? She had no clue. I didn't even think about this. What if she didn't like the house? Yeah, she's never seen it. What if she was like, wait, what? I didn't realize how many people in the back filming. Mama?
Hi, guys. What's going on? Hey. Hi, Michael.
She has a thick girl shirt on. Mama? This is your house.
That's why you guys are filming. Oh. I love you so much. You don't have to.
That's what you get for being the best grandma. The key was kind of old too. It had like the colored ring on it. I was like, damn, dog. Look at him. Welcome home. Yeah.
So sweet, dude.
Yeah, man, that was a big one off
incredible.
the bucket list. Yeah, she was happy. Never owned a home before, man. So that's a big deal. Big deal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal for your boy. But shout out to everyone else for all the fans out there, man. Literally, it was a goal of mine. Probably my kids were born because she's such a good grandma, and my father-in-law Steve, he's a monster too. So whenever my schedule's busy, man. But whenever I'm on the road or anything, they're always at the house. They're always there, making sure the kids are good. Make sure Steve's a cop, so the security, like they're always there. I don't even have to ask them. They've always been like that since day one. I was like, I keep these people close, man. They're the best. So that was my way to give back, and even that's not enough. But the house I posted of Ted Bundy is not the house that I bought them. I didn't buy him a house in Tacoma. Where Ted
You
Bundy
put it so close together, though.
I didn't even think about that. Now it makes sense why people are like, wait, hold up, that's the house? But you got to read the caption. Took a little morning stroll to Ted Bundy's house. There in Tacoma, it's like the downtown Tacoma. There's not a ton going on there. There's a lot of things shut down. I think maybe the pandemic got them, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of that stuff going on there. So it's kind of dead. So I would just walk, it's just me and Jay. So I'd just stroll around everywhere. Like I got my 10,000 steps in by 11 a.m. every morning. Like I was just strolling around. And I found this site. Shout out to this site. I got to give the site a shout out, and then we'll get into the fighting. But the site is called oddstops.com. And like whatever murder serial killer house you're looking for, like the bridge where David Berkowitz was stabbed.
You're too into this, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Way too into it.
Oh, dude, I didn't even share most of the stuff. Like the Green River killers from out there, and the Green River is a river that was in Tacoma. Like Ted Bundy's. So he grew the house that I took a picture of. That's the house he grew up in as a kid, and then they moved not far from there. His parents bought a house where they eventually died in. He would stay there. I walked to his high school, his college, Puget Sound, and then we drove to Seattle. I looked up all the things there. I don't know, something to do, I guess. Wow. It's fascinating to me. It's so weird and creepy. That place is definitely haunted. But shout out to Tacoma, man. Big shout out to Tacoma. Great freaking comedy venue, that Tacoma Comedy Club. My openers were so fucking good. Man, the comedy scene out there is booming. The openers were great. The host and the feature, both great, man. Both great. I should probably give their names out, huh?
Yeah, I was going to look for it real quick.
I didn't post anything about them. Okay. But their names are Adam Tiller was the feature. Adam Tiller is a guy, his dad went to Harvard and MIT. His dad's like this brilliant, brilliant dude. And then his son's a comic. And so he's this monster out there. He opened up for a bunch of people. Doug Stanhope, Whitney, like he's the one everybody uses. But Adam Tiller's a monster. And then the host was a guy named Charles Hall. Remind me a lot of Chappelle Lacey. He's from Georgia, though. He lives in Tacoma now, but they were both great. Really, really good, man. You never know what you're going to get sometimes. When you don't bring your own people, it's a real crapshoot. Sometimes you get some people that just, it happens. But let's get into the fight. What's dope about this is this fight card, this ESPN fight night in San Antonio started. I was able to watch pretty much the entire card. The main event, I'm trying to think, I probably got on stage around the third round. Yeah, third or fourth round. So I saw the majority of it. Listen, Cory Sandhagen basically came up with the kid. He walked in the gym. I've told this story a million times. When he was 15 or 16 years old, he trains with my former, one of my closest friends and my coach, Christian Allen. So I'm very close to Cory Sandhagen, that whole team there. Then Marlon Chito Vera is my boy. Love Marlon. So I didn't give a pick for this fight. It went how I thought it was going to go. I thought if Chito was going to win, and I have text with Tom, who's our booking agent, who's super into MMA. He goes, prediction between you and I said, Cory's going to get up big time. Because Marlon, and this is, well documented, just what it is with Chito, he's a very slow starter, very slow starter. So Cory's going to get up probably at least 3 rounds before Marlon gets going. It's going to be too late. So Marlon has to bank on Cory slowing down and clipping him in order to win. Because this goes to the judges' scorecards. It's going to be a freaking clean sweep. It's not going to be good for Chito. Chito might get 1 round, but in general, unless he finishes with TKO, and he's not going to submit Cory, he's going to be in some trouble there. Let's take a little break before we jump right back into the fight game. Whether you're new to cannabis or an old pro like some of my friends out there, there's no denying that many of the products on the market seem iffy at best. You don't know if you can trust them. And all you want to do is relax, all right? You don't want to get all crazy. All right, so Mood, my friends at Mood, puts an end to the guessing games. It's 100% federally legal Delta 8 and Delta 9 THC, and you can have shipped straight to your freaking door. No doctors, no waiting, just affordable, great THC products, and it's legal. For a limited time, Mood is giving you guys free Delta 9 gummies and 20% off your first order. Visit hellomood.com. Use code SCHAUB, SCHAUB. All right. Mood offers federally legal forms of THC extracted from hemp plants. All their products are regularly third-party tested and drug enforcement agency registered labs, sourced from small family farms and grown organically. Something for every mood. What are you looking for, man? Energized, creative, focused, relaxed. We got you covered. Ready for a good time without the guesswork? Order your THC products from Mood today. And for 20% off your first order and free gummies, go to hello, HELLO, mood.com and use promo code SCHAUB, SCHAUB. That's hello, MOOD.com, promo code SCHAUB for 20% off your order and free gummies. Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have the best tools for some spring cleaning in your pants. Trust me, your confidence will be blooming like the flowers. Look your best this spring and join the over 8 million dudes who trust Manscaped. Use code SHOP20, get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Manscaped are here to change the way all the fellas can take care of ourselves and groom with the Performance Package 4.0. You get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxers, and a travel bag. You're ready to go, man. Always use the right tools for the job and head to their website and check out all their tools to help you upgrade your hygiene routine. Save 20% off and free shipping with code SHOP20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code SHOP20 at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Oh, man, big shout out to my boys at Happy Hippo. That's right, happyhippo.com. They're celebrating 10 years in the game, 10 years of supplying the best pure kratom on the planet Earth. That's right, it's their 10-year anniversary, and they're not just doing any normal sale. They're giving you 30% off site-wide, 30% off everything at Happy Hippo. Go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is Thiccc23, and you save 30% off. I use the shots. They get the great butterscotch shots or the apple shots. They got pills. They got powders. They got gummies. Listen, you're not going to get all jazzed up like you would with some other drinks or stuff like that. You get a nice, warm, balanced, good mood feeling. All right? Their kratom is a hidden gem, and right now, if you haven't tried it, do this. You get 30% off. You have nothing to lose. It's their 10-year anniversary. Go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is THICC with 3 C's, 23. You save 30% off the entire site. You're welcome. Happyhippo.com. Promo code THICC23. It's kind of what you saw. You know, the fact that it was a split decision.
So Chris Lee, Sal D'Amato, and Joel Ojeda. Ojeda is the one that gave the weird-ass thing. And there's a background with him as well. He's not like a seasoned ref. This is like his 4th ever UFC event.
He shouldn't be allowed to.
Exactly, because it's a huge event. It's a main event. Yeah, exactly.
That guy should never work again. I mean, split this.
Or get more training in the, the regional scenes.
Yeah, doing the regional.
Yeah.
And then come to the. He should not be.
He should not have
scored.
That was so crazy. That was insane. It was insane.
Two of the best bantamweights on the fucking planet, 135. He should not be anywhere close to that cage.
Everyone agrees with you. All the fighters.
He's lucky he even gets a subscription to the ESPN Fight Pass at this point. He needs to do some fucking home work. That was a clean decision. You could maybe give Chito the 3rd round.
That's what Chris Lee did, but that was it.
For reals, and that's it. I mean, I think part of the thing too is Chito's such a fan favorite. That 5th round when kind of started going, like,
started to come, yeah.
But just because you start to get going doesn't mean you're winning the round.
Yeah.
Just because you love the fighter doesn't mean he's winning the round. To give him the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you should never work again. At least for a hot second. Go back to the regional circuit.
Yeah.
Way off, dude. But thank God, because when they said by split decision, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm
here?
sure everyone felt that way, yeah.
And Cory Sandhagen looked fantastic, man.
Oh my gosh,
he looked
yeah.
good. He looked really, really good. I just think they're on 2 different paths. You know, with Cory, obviously, you know, he had the hiccup against TJ. A lot of people think he beat TJ. I can see the argument. I thought TJ did enough, but I get the argument there. And then, you know, then he beat Sato. How do you say his name?
Song Yadong.
Yeah, he beat him.
Yeah,
but
with
who's no
the
punk.
TKO cut thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
who's no punk. So I just think for Cory and Chito, it's the worst matchup possible for Chito, unless he was going to catch him. But Cory's a very cerebral fighter. He's just too multiverse. He can stand orthodox, southpaw, kicks, submissions, his jab, his head movement. Like, there's a lot for Chito to take in there. And, you know, when you're a slow starter, you just round after round, you just put it, banking it. And then also, not to mention the takedowns, which I don't think Chito was banking on, but the takedowns really fucked him over too. He's wearing them out. I mean, look at that, dude. Sniffing at strikes, 128 to 58. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, the more leg kicks for sure. And then, you know, takedowns, you know. So it was a bit of a problem for Chito, man. Yeah, takedowns 3, you know, 3 big takedowns. Really, really tough fight for Chito. I saw Chito called out Peter Yan. I like that for him. That's another one. Peter Yan comes out, you know, Peter Yan downloads your data and then takes over. But, you know, even in the last fight that he had, you know, he's still not as slow as Chito. Like, I would still consider Peter Yan a faster starter. Chito's the slowest I've ever seen. And his coach after the second round was like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? There's something I need to know? Like, what's wrong with you? You know? Cory Sandhagen called out Merab. I thought the move was to call out Sugar Sean. Because Sugar Sean, Cory, is a fantastic fight. Because Merab, Sugar, couldn't be a worse matchup possible for Sugar. And we want Sugar to get to that title shot, right? If you're a Sugar fan. Sugar, Cory, that's the fight. That's the most entertaining fight. If you're a purist, you want Cory versus Merab. That's the fight. I think the UFC is going to do Cory versus Sugar. That's what I think they're going to do. It's more fun. It's again, I still think Sugar would be an underdog in that fight. It's a winnable fight for Sugar. Definitely not easy. There's no easy fights for Sugar anymore. That's not happening. Peter Yan was not an easy fight. He passed that test, thank God. But now, you know, I don't think shout out to Cory Sandhagen. That's what kind of savage he is for calling Merab out. Because the rest of the division is like, If you're a manager, you're like, no. We'll take anybody but that. You know, so, you know, I don't think Merab's going to sit around either. So Merab, Cory Sandhagen makes sense. But if I'm the UFC, I just have Merab wait for the title shot, you know, and force the hand. If Aljamain were to beat Henry Cejudo, you just force that hand, build the hype up there. But Merab's going to be chilling for a little bit. Because I bet they do Cory versus Sugar. That's the fight.
That'd be super fun for sure. Yeah.
That's the fight.
Yeah. But Merab was down. He said, let's go.
Hell yeah, he's down.
Yeah.
And stylistically, I would say, I mean, Cejudo would be a tough matchup for Merab, but, you know, and Aljamain's interesting to think about, but Cory Sandhagen and how dangerous he is on the ground could be fun against Merab and his cardio, you know?
Yeah.
But bantamweight, my God, is it stacked, dude. Holly Holm looked fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. A lot of people think KGB, Andrea Lee, was robbed, but, you know, Macy Barber did her thing. Also, those judges, what do you expect, man? That one judge was a complete moron. But, yeah, it was a great fight. It's just Chito just kind of, I think it was a combination. I'll have to talk to him because it's a combination, I think, of his slow start, and he just seemed a little off, a little slower than usual. It didn't seem like the normal killer instinct Chito, you know? Horrible matchup for Chito. You know, I didn't want to get into it on Monday's show, but stylistically, there couldn't be a worse matchup for Chito. Yeah. Because think about it, Chito was down on the cards against
Dominic Cruz?
Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
And Dominic Cruz, you know, Cory is a 2.0 version of Dominic Cruz, and he's in his prime. So if you look at Dom's fight, Dom had a lot of success against Chito till he was caught with that head kick. So if you just look at that and you think of Cory, it's a tough fucking fight for him. You can get down the cards, and you have to pray for that home run shot at this level. That's tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very tough.
So this is Chito Vera's statement afterwards, and then he did mention also that he just couldn't get his.
Yeah, he just couldn't
start.
get
yeah, he just couldn't
going.
get going.
Yeah, he just had an off night. It happens, man.
Yep.
It happens with football players, basketball players, UFC fighters. It's happened to me. It's just for whatever reason. It's just that I don't know. It's just think about it. It's no different than whatever place where you're listening to this right now at work. Like some days you just don't feel like doing it.
Yep.
There's no difference in professional sports. Hate to tell you, some days your favorite basketball player, which is LeBron James, gets to the arena. He's like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. He's just off. And then some. Even if you're like, it'll get going once I'm in there. It just doesn't. It's just not clicking for you. Sometimes it happens to UFC fighters during their biggest time, their biggest moments. It sucks.
Yeah.
I've had fights where I'm like, oh, if we could just do this any other day, I'd beat this guy. You know?
Yeah.
That's how you feel. You're like, oh, man, if we could just delay this like a day, I do not feel like getting punched in the face today.
I wonder if it's because of I don't know if this influences it that much, but having an audience around something that you're doing to a competition, even if it's singing or if it's like whatever, just having an audience there and you're not like in the mood to do it.
There's just something going on. Maybe it's something in your life you wake up that, you know how it is. Just some days you feel good, some days you don't. Mentally, you're just like, I don't feel like doing this. It happens with professional athletes. You know?
Have you felt that in training though, ever?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sparring?
Oh, all the time, yeah. You're like, God, I don't want to do this today. And you're driving, then you got to get going. Only difference is in fighting, you're not just missing a shot or the guy's blowing by you and, catching a touchdown. You're getting socked in the fucking face.
Yeah.
It's a tough gig.
In front of a shit ton of people.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah, it's a real bummer.
But that's what Chito said. He said, fell short today, got zero excuses. Just remember something. I won't stop.
Just wasn't his day. No. If they do give him Peter Yan, he beats him, he's right back in the mix. Yeah. And you realize Chito, he's on this surgence. Like it happens with certain guys who've been around for a while where for whatever reason it takes the fan base to jump on board. It just takes a little, and then they become like these legends. And no matter even if they lose, we're going to pay to see them. Chito's got into that Diaz Bro, Masvidal category, Cowboy Cerrone. We're like, I don't give a fuck if he loses.
Yes, the pop he got from the crowd was insane. Yeah.
Nuts. Yeah, he became one of those kind of, it's almost like you're this urban legend, People don't care. Yeah, Chito's one of those guys. It's very rare. You can't, there's no marketing agency you can hire to say, hey, how can we become like a Masvidal or like a Diaz Bro? It just happens, and it happens to very few people. You're more likely to become a world champ than become, one of those street legends like these guys. What else you got, buddy?
Here's a quick one. We all know this already, but he's your buddy. He's been on Fight Companion before, Donald Cerrone. He's actually now inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think it's in July. Yeah, July.
And they surprised him, right? With his kids
with his kids and everything.
Cool.
I love how they do that too. They don't tell them. Apparently, they don't tell them, as far as I know. But so they just see this video highlight and they're like, "What the?"
Yeah.
And then boom.
The Jens Pulver one was even more crazy.
I know that.
The Jens Pulver one made me cry. Yeah. That one got me. The Cowboy one was great though.
Yeah.
Boy, does he deserve it.
For sure. All the fighters were like had his back too. Like
everyone has Cowboy's back. Yeah, everybody.
So that was cool to see. All right, so this is a little bit of a controversial one. Joe Rogan, when he had, I believe when he had Luke Combs on his podcast, he mentioned how Jorge Masvidal and a lot of the welterweights in this period of time, right, would beat GSP. But he mentioned specifically Masvidal, apparently.
So his statement's partly true. So the UFC is so new that fighters that are starting, that are in Dana White Contender Series, certain fighters, they're training in MMA specifically, and they're fucking talented, man. when GSP was fighting, he was fighting very one-dimensional fighters, and there's a way to expose those guys. And it's not just GSP's fault, but Rogan's right where because the sport's so new, like if you took Dak Prescott, who's good, Prescott's good, Dak's good. If you toss him back in the 60s, he's the best to ever do it. It's just the time have changed. Like if you take Patrick Mahomes and put him in the 50s, he's throwing 700 yards a game. There's just the game evolves, the science evolves, the fighters evolve, they're better athletes. GSP wasn't fighting the same athletes that the guys are today. Where Rogan, I think, I don't want to say hot water, but he doesn't give a flying fuck, but where these MMA outlets are like, oh, you believe this? Yeah, okay. But where I think Rogan, if he could redo this line of thinking, it's the fighters today are better, and GSP wasn't fighting as good as competition, but Masvidal has been doing it just as long as GSP. I think Masvidal started maybe a year after. As far as like straight up pro fighting,
Yeah.
Like Masvidal, even, I think started when he's 15 in the backyard, but that's different. But as far as like their careers, look up when Masvidal first started.
Pro boxing first?
So so let's say he started in 2003.
2003, yeah.
So then bring up GSP. This is where like his point is correct, but Masvidal was a bad example. Like if you had said that about, like an Izzy or so 2002, like I said, he started a year. Yeah. So roughly kind of started at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's where people, it's Rogan. So obviously it's going to get clicks on these MMA sites. Whenever they can use Rogan's name, they're going to use it. So that's why it gets clicks. But he had the right train of thought. Fighters, hands down, are way better than they are today than they were when GSP was fighting for titles.
There's evolution.
Yeah, it's
People develop new
evolution.
skills and all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And most sports are like that. It just is. Mm-hmm. Unless they've been around for a long time. But no, he's right.
And this is Chael Sonnen's reply.
Chael, you son of a bitch, going for those clicks. I wish I had this. I wish I had this in me. I really do. Some days I'm like, oh God. Oh, man, if I could just do that clickbait, like TMZ shit, where, I'm like, if we did a headline like, Chael tears into Rogan, you believe that? ? And my face like, what? Like that clickbait, I just can't do it. Let's take a little break because this episode is brought to you by my friends at BetterHelp. That's right, getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially we're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness, understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. That's right. If you've benefited from therapy in person, you can do it online. If you're thinking of starting therapy and giving BetterHelp a try, it's entirely online. You don't have to go to some weird office. You don't have to sit in traffic. It's entirely done online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists anytime you want, no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Schaub. That's betterhelp.com/Schaub, and you save 10% off your first month. BetterHelp. This episode of the Schaub Show is brought to you by On It. You knew it was coming. On It, baby. They've been with me forever. I'm a busy dude. That's by design. I have a lot on my plate. I'm always stressed out. But you know who helps me? Who's always my champion? On It. They help me maintain focus in order to stay in the zone as long as possible, and that's through Alpha Brain. Not just any Alpha Brain, but Alpha Brain Black, which promotes attention, focus. Alpha Brain helps to support cognitive functions, including memory, mental speed, and focus. I need all the help I can get. All right? Again, Alpha Brain can help all of you out. Remember, names, places, addresses, focus on complex tasks, think more clearly under stress, react more quickly. Does that sound good to you? Cool, man. Try it out. There's no refund necessary. You get your money back. You don't have to send the product back. They keep your money. You can share it with a buddy. All right. You don't have to return the product. That's how confident they are in Alpha Brain. They've sold over 1 million bottles, the best nootropic on the planet. On It just happens to also offer the best fitness gear in the world with kettlebells, steel club maces, sandbags, yoga mats. You need protein powders, creatine, fish oils, whatever you need, your daily greens, they got you. They also offer on-demand workouts. So if this sounds like something that could get your thick ass in shape and help you maybe think a little faster, why don't you try it out? Onnit.com/Schaub. You receive 10% off the entire site. That's all I got for you. Onnit.com/Schaub, 10% off the entire site at Onnit. You're welcome. Now let's get back to the program. Because I'll stay really close to Rogan, close with Chael. Like, I know what Chael's doing. Chael loves Rogan. Absolutely loves him.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet you too. Chael texted Rogan before he did this. It's like, hey man, I'm doing this bit. And Rogan's like, I don't give a fuck. Like when Chael does those the Fighters Only Awards, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, he had some jokes in there about me. He ran them by me first. I know he's known as the American gangster, and he's gonna hate me saying this. Chael's a sweetheart. Hate to tell you guys. He's not very gangster. Maybe back in the day he was, but he's not very gangster.
I mean, gangster's a fighter for sure.
Super gangster. But as far as human being, not gangster.
Yeah, he's super
not
sweet.
cutthroat. Great person. Great dad. Great husband. Like such a sweet person. Love Chael. So Chael put, that's not a, he's so stupid. But again, it's going to, I bet, what, 500,000 views? But that's not a rational statement. Joe Rogan's fantastic at his job. When you talk a lot, you get some things wrong. Dude, that, yeah.
Sure, very true.
You throw a lot of shit at the wall and hope some of it sticks. He put Masvidal over as an example that today's welterweights are far superior. They're better than Georges St-Pierre. We should just dismiss this. What Joe said and how he did this math is very common, but I would like to correct you to what a non-420 mind can come up with, meaning Joe smokes a lot of weed. Yeah. Joe got to the point by stating that the competition is harder now than it was then. When does the competition ever have to do with the guy? George is the best. That's your answer ever.
Yeah.
Then he goes on. So Masvidal has 16 losses, holds 0 UFC records. Yeah, Masvidal compared to George is a bad example. That's true. But also, okay, you know. What kind of are you going to put in with George out there and dominates a wrestling champion like Josh Koscheck? But yeah, he out wrestled Josh Koscheck, but he also used the jab to do it and set it up with a double leg. But Josh Koscheck was strictly a wrestler, Chael. That's the point. Or knocks out a world champion like Matt Hughes. Really? And would you consider Matt Hughes an elite striker, Chael? This is just me defending Rogan here. To if we're gonna do this, so Chael's points are stupid. So, oh really? Well, how are you gonna explain that he dominates a wrestling champion like Josh Koscheck? Yeah, one-dimensional Josh Koscheck. That's the point, dude. Or how about he knocks out a world champion like Matt Hughes? Yeah, he knocked out the wrestler. You know, it's like Matt Hughes is a far cry from a fucking Fiziev, my man, even though Fiziev's at 55 or some of the guys in the league today, or passes the guard of a jiu-jitsu ace like Nick Diaz. Yeah. Okay. What kind of equation are you putting into that gap? Which 170-pounder do you believe can take Georges St-Pierre down? What 170-pounder out there do you believe Georges St-Pierre cannot take down? Let's start with that. You cannot one entity by drawing conclusions to others, and if you do it, we should dismiss you, and you should tell the kids in the backseat that guy is on drugs. Yeah, that's just Chael doing his thing.
I know, that's just Chael doing his thing. I think Koscheck did get to a point where, just like some other MMA fighters that were really good at wrestling, they found like striking to be
not
really
at
good.
a high level, though.
Yeah, but
all those guys, like, okay, so let's just go through Chael's points. Josh Koscheck, compared to today's 170-pounders, at 170-pounder, who's Josh Koscheck? My point to Chael is,
no, I don't.
Who's Koscheck going to outstrike?
I don't agree with this.
Okay,
I don't.
And then Matt Hughes. Come on, Chael. I love Matt Hughes. Great at the time. Matt Hughes now would get beat by the 50th ranked 170-pounder on the planet right now. It just is what it is. It's not a knock at Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes, at his time at the level of competition, was one of the best to ever do it. The competition is different now. There's more people doing it. There's a bigger pool. It's worldwide. It's just a different game now. It's not a knock on these guys. Just times are different. It's like when how do you think Babe Ruth would do right now? Yeah, but you home run hitter. No, I know. Throwing against guys with the first name of Joe and Steve. How would he do against the fucking Latin kid from the Bronx throwing junk at his fat ass? Probably not good. It's just different. Then Babe Ruth falls, nothing you can do. You think Babe Ruth would do great against fucking Pedro Martinez? Throwing junk at his ass? No, he had another fat white guy throw him the ball. It's just different time. You know? It's just different.
Yeah. If he compared it to like, you know how there's the huge debate about Jordan and LeBron?
Yes.
But they've all achieved this like, you know, status of like being the best in the world.
Yeah,
Like, both
Masvidal's
of them.
never been
Yeah,
world
exactly.
champion.
That's why it's a little bit of a weird thing.
Masvidal's a very bad example because he's been fighting as long as they started.
He said like I think he mentioned all of them, all the welterweights on the top right now would beat. I think he said something like that. I don't know for a fact.
would beat George.
Yeah.
George to Chael's point, what made George special is because he was such a gifted athlete. You know, GSP was so good he raised the bar. But you look at GSP's victories, he beat some very good guys. But I think guys like Kamaru, not Kamaru now. Kamaru wouldn't beat him right now. Prime Kamaru, Colby, yes, I agree with that. Jorge, no. Woodley in his prime, I don't know, dude.
Or maybe he's just talking about Colby. I don't know.
He has a weird list. Yeah, Rogan has a weird list there. Because Jorge and Woodley would probably not beat him. Kamaru, after seeing him against Leon, you know, and with the bad knees, that's a bad example. But if they're both in their prime, like go to 170 right now. Like, for instance, how do you think George would do against Hamzat? How do you think he would do? How do you think he would do against, you think he would just mop the floor with Muhammad? Those guys rank 3 and 4. You know? You're telling me Gilbert Burns isn't more well-rounded than a lot of guys that GSP fought? Name a guy in the top 6 that's not more well-rounded than Matt Hughes or Josh Koscheck. This isn't a hard debate. It's just, and it's also, it's not a knock on those old timers, those Hall of Famers. It's just that's what the level they're at. They didn't know any better, you know? It's just where the sport was at. It's no different saying how would Babe Ruth do against a young kid from the Dominican Republic right now throwing junk at him? Probably not fucking good. He doesn't care. It was a different time then, you know? Just different. Just different, man.
And there's no way to know.
No.
Whatever, yeah.
What else you got?
Right. So Paulo Costa, remember he had the issues with the UFC as far as, and that's why he pulled out of the Whitaker fight.
Now he says he's the highest paid Brazilian ever.
So his manager, who is also his, I guess, fiance.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she's the one that made that statement. But apparently he agreed. He didn't sign the contract, but he agreed financially to the terms of a 4-fight deal. And then this is what his girl said.
Paulo went from being one of the most devalued athletes to one of the most valued athletes in the UFC. I have no doubt that Paulo is the highest paid Brazilian athlete in the organization today. I don't know if you know any Brazilian athlete that has paid more than $1 million per fight. I don't, especially in non-title fights. If he's actually getting $1 million a fight, yeah, I don't.
Over, apparently.
Yeah, that's insane. And that's like the minimum. That's a great deal for him. I'm surprised the UFC gave him that.
If that's true, I don't know.
Yeah, if that's true, there's always, the UFC never releases this information. So it says Paulo agrees to a new 4-fight deal with the UFC, but he wants Strickland and Hamzat. Strickland's a good fight for him. Hamzat is a disaster.
I know, but it'd be great to watch. Though.
Oh, dude, take my fucking money. Yeah. I would love it because Paulo Costa has no quit in him either. So that Hamzat would be a good test for Hamzat 85 too. And for Hamzat, right, like, he was on the Ira Hawani show. It was a good interview, and great interview. And Hamzat they were asking about Piera. Piera, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Piera. And they said, how would you do? He goes, easiest fight of my career. I've always said that, and that's not a knock on Piera. But he's so one-dimensional. That's where it's all about styles. Like, he's a nightmare for Izzy, even though Izzy did well, but it's a tough fight for Izzy, But the rest of the division would have a little more, I think Alex Piera would be an underdog because they have a little more tools in their arsenal. Izzy's not going to shoot for a takedown. Izzy's not great in jiu-jitsu. These other guys can get away on the feet and also are a nightmare to grapple with. So it's a little more of a challenge for Alex Piera. That's all I'm saying. Alex, gets all up in arms and wants to challenge me to a bet, even though that's illegal. But I would bet you all fucking day, especially if you fight Hamzat. I'll bet my fucking mother-in-law's house on it. I'll tell you that right now. I could use the money, man. Those house is not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to bet that, I'm still available. Get your team to reach out to mine because we can't do it one-on-one, right? But yeah, Hamzat's right. The first minute is a little intense, but it's the worst fight possible for Alex Pereira. That's not a knock on Alex Pereira. I don't know who the fuck's going to beat Hamzat. So if that's a knock on the whole division, okay, I guess you can all get upset. I'm just saying that's how high I am on Hamzat. I don't know who the fuck's going to beat this guy. Also, nobody signed up to fight him. He can't get a fight. And I know Colby's like, no, I asked for the fight. They gave me the fight. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Otherwise, the UFC would have made it happen.
Yeah.
It's not true. So he says, go back to that for me.
Wait, hold on.
But Paulo Hamzat's fantastic. Paulo Strickland's a great fight too. That build-up would be fantastic. That's a good fight. That's an even money fight there. That's a good fight. So let's see. He says, I told them I told them for the middleweight belt. So the UFC said I only spoke with Sean Shelby about that fight. Sean Shelby first says, yes, brother, let's try it. Then we went back the day after and said, no, brother, we'll fight Colby first and then we'll see. I said, okay, after that, we didn't speak about the fight with anybody. Then Alex said I should fight at 205 or something. The UFC doesn't want to see you and Alex fight only now, and you go up and fight in different weight class. Haven't just won the middleweight belt. Oh, so he'd fight for the middleweight belt and then fight Alex at 205. They don't want to see them fight at different weight class, no belt. That's what I've said from the start. I'm from 170. He's from 185. We'll fight at 205. It makes sense. That's why maybe the UFC didn't call me about that fight. I don't know why they didn't call. I was ready to fight in Brazil. It doesn't matter. Different weight classes, which weight classes you wanted. It's easy to fight for me in the UFC. And then Ariel asked for clarification. He goes, in my career, first round, first minute, easy, no punch, nothing.
Yeah.
No. It's a very tough fight for him.
Alrighty, let's go. This is a quick one for the fights. I mean, there's not many fights coming on this weekend, but this is one of them. But so the whole Jorge Masvidal, Gambred 4, I believe it is. Paul Daly was supposed to fight on there, and he couldn't fight because he had visa issues.
That's a bummer.
One of the guys. It's a great card so far.
And who's Paul Daly supposed to fight?
Marcus Perez.
Yeah.
From the UFC. He was from the UFC.
But the rest of the card is fantastic. It's in Milwaukee. It's on UFC Fight Pass pay-per-view. Yeah, your main event, Roy Jones, Anthony Pettis. I'm curious about that.
Crazy, yeah.
Jose Aldo, Jeremy Stevens, fantastic.
Crazy,
Vitor Jacare, sign me up. The baddie from, where's she from? Miami or something?
I'm not sure.
Pearl Gonzalez.
And Gina Mazzani, who's like also UFC, was UFC.
Yeah, there's some fun fights on there.
Definitely the main card or the top.
Oh, stacked, dude. If it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. If it starts with Pearl, then you got Vitor, Jacare, Jose Aldo, Jeremy Stevens. You got Roy Jones, Anthony Pettis. Take my money.
It's dope, yeah.
Great fight.
All right, so this is Cody Garbrandt hinting, not necessarily like it's a real thing, but hinting that he might have a Dominic Cruz fight rematch.
I like this.
Yeah,
I like this, especially for Dom too. I like it for Dom, right? Because you don't want to see a legend like Dom go out on that knockout loss, head kick to Chito. So that maybe he can redeem himself against Cody. Cody's fallen on hard times, even though he got a win recently. But it's a good fight it makes sense for both guys. I dig it.
Same. Here's a quick some bout announcements.
This is a great fight announcement. When I saw this, I'm like, dude, hell yeah.
So Ian Gary versus Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod.
Great fight.
May 13th.
Great fucking fight. And that's a fight night?
It's got to be a fight night, right?
Has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that fight. Really, really fun fight.
Yeah.
I'm a big Gary fan.
And this is Dana White at the press conference for the last fight. And he's discussing Bilal Muhammad. And then also the reporter said something about Daniel Cormier mentioning Bilal should be the one, right?
I think most people in the game think Bilal Muhammad deserves a title shot.
Yeah.
Most people know what the fuck they're talking about, dude.
Daniel Cormier said that Bilal Muhammad is the most warranted for a welterweight title shot.
9 in a row,
I
right?
just wanted to know what your thoughts on that was and why Bilal is not getting the next title shot.
Well, Daniel Cormier doesn't make those decisions. It's nice of him, but yeah. Bilal, we have plans for Bilal. Bilal's going to fight again soon, and then we'll find out who's next in line.
Yeah, so he said he has plans for Bilal.
Yeah, well, we know his plan. It's a tough fucking plan. It's Shavrat, right?
It should be Shavkat. That's what they want. Yeah.
Jesus.
But yeah, it was just funny how he's like, Daniel Cormier doesn't make those decisions. So
I would run the exact same way if I like. That's why I fuck with Dana. Like I'd run it the exact same way. I'm like, yeah, cool. It's not his call.
Yeah.
There's a million other people that think that. What do you want me to do? When you run the UFC, run it how you want to run it. But I'm going with Colby. What else you got? You know, like cool. There's a million opinions out there. What do you want me to do? What's this?
This is just a real quick one on Paddy Pimblett. He just finished surgery on his ankle. I think he tore his Achilles. I forgot what it was, but he torn something in his ankle. Finally got it done. It's fixed. But of all people, he's calling out the same guy, Jared Gordon. But he went kind of hard in the paint on it.
Well, I think because Rogan and I think DC were like, hey, especially Rogan was like, he lost that fight.
Yep.
I don't think I see why people think he lost that fight. It was close. It wasn't a robbery, but you can see why Gordon definitely could have won the fight. 100%. I think they both need to move on though.
Yeah, but he really wants.
Probably, I think it really, and he admitted this, like it hurt him in his heart when Rogan and DC were like, you did not win that fight. I mean, I didn't think you won it. I can see how you won it, you know? I don't have an issue with it, but I think you just got to move on. He goes, I want to punch his head toward the end of the year. I'm going to run it back. I hope he beats Bobby Green. That's a very tough fight for him, by the way. Because I'll snap his arm for him in a round. Had a box match with him and still won because you're shit. Hope you watch this. You're fucking dog shit. At my worst, you couldn't beat me on my best. Injured, everything going wrong. You couldn't beat me on my worst day. And I'd beat you on your best because you're a little bum.
So he's going really hard for it. But I mean, I'm not excited to see that.
No, just keep climbing, dude. You don't, you know?
Yeah. All right, so this is a video of Merab.
You know what? He needs to get a little bit of. He needs to take a page out of Sugar's book. Even when Sugar lost Cheeto, like he come out food truck and like undefeated, and you're just like, all right. Chael, same thing, undefeated, never lost. You're like, okay,
yeah.
You know, it's like it's so preposterous for him, and he actually won. I'm like, nah, I'm done with that, man. I don't want to go back into that bullshit. You know, I beat him. You guys can cry all you want. You know. But I guess personally, he just wants to take care of it.
I mean, he must be. I don't want to see it,
but
he wants to just prove everyone that. Yeah. So that's cool too. But all right, so this is Merab Dvalishvili. This is at the San Antonio event at UFC.
I don't get why Merab cares. Like, what was the person saying though? But if you're Merab, dude, you just beat the brakes off this Russian, one of the best bantamweights of all time. Who do you give a fuck, dude?
I'm with you on that, but I'm also down that Merab went after this guy. This guy apparently, so there's no, when you hear the audio, it doesn't sound like he's saying, you can't really tell what he's saying, but apparently he's saying like you should fight Aljamain Sterling because that's, you know, the actual fight you should be having. You're kind of running away from that.
He's not running away from.
They're homies. Yeah, they're homies.
Dumbass.
So I'll just play this for you. Listen to the guy on the camera.
Hoodle's ass. I want you to get in the octagon with him in San Antonio. Hey, right here, baby. Hey.
Whoa. He's like, whoa.
Right here, baby. And then as soon as he gets up, he's like,
whoa. But yeah, I'd be terrified if Merab was, I'm going to fuck your face. His exact words are, I'm going to fuck your face. Whoa, dude. Chill, man.
But I'm glad that Merab did that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he cares. That guy's like, yo, man, you need to fight Aljo. Quit running. I'm like, that's such a stupid comment in the first place.
Yeah.
It's funny Merab's ready to go. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like people don't realize, like you realize that's a professional cage fighter, one of the best to ever do it. And you're literally 3 feet away from talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the person that fucks with the great white or the alligator. And they're like, what? It bit my arm. It's like, yeah, dude. Yeah. The fuck you up, man.
And he acted hard until Merab started climbing even further.
He's like, yeah, Merab climbed that thing like goddamn spider monkey, dude.
So I'm glad to see that. Talk Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk were supposed to fight.
So
and now it's apparently off.
This is what's wrong with boxing.
And then so Frank Warren, who was, I think, Tyson Fury's manager, or he's on Tyson Fury's side, he apparently leaked this email saying it was Usyk's side. And apparently they couldn't agree to the rematch clause. So they've never fought before, but if they fought and someone won and then had a rematch, the split of the money, they couldn't agree on that. So Usyk's team just kind of apparently dropped
Interesting. And this is Usyk's management going, gentlemen.
This is Frank Warren. So we're
Frank Warren, but he's showing the email that Usyk's team sent. It says, gentlemen, hope you are all okay. I'm not going into details as well, start to blame or point the finger at anyone, but would like to officially announce that the team Usyk is out of further negotiations regarding April 29th fight. You guys can put your pencils down. We will speak in the near future.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
And I think this is what Frank Warren said.
That's the first I heard and was aware this was dead. And the next day on Talk Sports, Alex said to Jim, I want to thank Frank and Queensberry. This is not their fault. They're having their client, Tyson Fury. We have our client, Usyk, and we are here to supply demands of our clients. Frank did everything possible to make the fight happen.
So someone outside of Frank's team, but yeah.
So it seems Usyk's team walked away over the rematch per split, in which they wanted 70-30 in favor of the winner of the first fight. I believe Fury's fight offered 50-50 to Usyk if he was victorious first time around, but Warren argues that there was never any time given to negotiate this. 70-30 is insane, dude. Because Usyk, definitely a tough matchup for Tyson. He's not a bigger name than Tyson. He's not putting more butts in the seat than Tyson. He's just not. That's what's wrong with boxing. That's boxing doing boxing. That's what's wrong with the sport.
And one more boxing thing. You said putting butts in the seats. Apparently, I didn't realize this, but Anthony Joshua's fighting this weekend. I had no idea. He's fighting someone named Jermaine Franklin. And apparently, typically, Joshua sells out all the arenas that he's in.
Big time.
Right? So this particular arena, I think it's O2, I forget whatever. But it's supposed to have 16,000 capacity. They have 1,000 tickets left over, and it's about a week away.
It's not terrible.
It's not bad at all. I thought it was great.
I thought you were going to tell me he's only sold 1,000.
No.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. That's
But
not
I had no idea
That's not too
this fight was
bad. And
going
the
on.
guy's fighting. You ever heard of him?
No.
That's the thing. So it's like this warm-up, tune-up fight for him. Mm-hmm. So they're thinking that, back to Fury, Usyk, they're thinking Fury's going to fight Andy Ruiz.
Oh, Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz.
Think,
I would love that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or hopefully he fights our boy, Francis.
That'd be, yeah. Well, that'd be the number one thing for sure. Francis and him. Even though that
Holy
would suck.
shit.
So
6'6", 285-pound Chinese heavyweight boxer. Look how big that dude's legs are.
yeah.
He has calves like Manny Pacquiao, but he's 6'6", 285.
Chinese.
And Usyk doesn't look that much smaller.
Wait, this is Alex Bahia. Right?
Yeah.
This is Alex Bahia. And he's ahead of his fight with Stylebender.
He's right cutting weight.
Sparring this guy who's freaking like, this guy's a legit boxer too, so I looked him up.
He's 24-1.
Yeah, 24-1.
Olympic, it looks like he got silver in the Olympics.
Here.
His nickname's
All this stuff right
Big Bang. So Olympic Games, he got silver in Beijing.
Super heavy.
Asian game, he got gold. World Championships, he got bronze. Yeah, but he's going to be a fucking problem. He's massive.
Yeah, so that's who Alex is sparring with ahead of his Stylebender fight.
Yeah, because I bet a giant 6'6", 285 Chinese boxer is very similar to Izzy. That makes no sense. Cool to see. I'm sure it's going to help you down the
good
road.
Striker, really long, really big.
Yeah,
I don't know.
guess. Jesus Christ. I guess if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. It's kind of one of those things, you know? Jesus Christ. That guy's so big. You're too big. I bet he's all natural. What else you got?
This is another quick one. So Dan Hardy, his girl Veronica.
Yeah, she looked great.
Originally Miss Sato, but now she's Veronica Hardy. She was fighting in the undercard or the prelims at UFC 286. Apparently, he was banned from all the the fight week activities other than cornering her.
Hilarious.
So they're saying like how.
Yeah, I don't think Dan Hardy cares. I don't know if you noticed, Dan Hardy just got a new gig He's the head of fighter development.
Something,
at,
PFL.
something like that, PFL in Europe. So if you look at the card that he's put on like legit European talent. The was it Cage Fury? Is it Fury? What is it? The fight big league out there?
Cage Fury?
Like I mean Cage Warriors. Oh. Yeah, Cage Warriors. He's putting all the top talent from there into this. He's doing it the right way. You know, a lot of those, you know, when PFL comes or especially Bellator comes, they use just SPG. They use just Conor McGregor's gym. Mm-hmm. You know, that's kind of, you know, they've done that. So he's really going to broaden it and use, you're going to see legit fucking talent. I think it's brilliant. Brilliant hiring him. Brilliant.
Here. So this is this popped up recently. So I guess, I don't know if this is 100% legit, but it's in different articles in like MMA Mania and like Daily Mail. But so Marvin Vettori, who's been on the show before, apparently he's really good friends with a rapper in Italy, and they were at an event, a DAZN boxing event in Italy, and this is apparently Vettori, not hitting this guy who
like hammer fists him.
Hits him. But so I guess his buddy is the one that hit this guy, like attacked the guy, and the guy's an actual professional boxer.
And did Marvin knock out the boxer or the rapper?
The boxer.
Okay.
Well. So no, the rapper's his friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So the rapper started the shit with the boxer, and then Marvin Vettori apparently did this.
Well, that's probably why the rapper's acting that tough.
Apparently, Marvin Vettori's in the white.
I don't think he knocks him out. The guy just falls down. He knocked him out because the guy's on the ground kicking. See you guys kicking? Does he continue to like beat him down there? No.
He gets it's just like a bunch of stuff that's going on. You can't even tell it's Marvin Vettori, but then this picture is where Marvin Vettori and his homie, the rapper, they took afterwards, I believe, and it says Marvin Vettori dangerous. But they're wearing different clothes too, so I don't know how legit this stuff is.
Yeah, that's weird because Marvin was in white.
White, yeah.
Maybe they did an outfit change for the club.
I don't know.
I don't know how they do it in Italy.
Yeah, it's a little weird. This is one I wanted to show.
And that also doesn't look like a Marvin punch. Like it was like
it was very small.
You
Yeah,
get a little
nothing
extra
happened.
syrup in the tank. You feel me? The wrist break. Oh my God, this ref.
You've seen this, right?
Yes, horrible.
It gets even crazier. So this ref, I'll play the video for you. This is at a Fury FC. Yeah, Fury FC 76. And this is a Friday before the San Antonio UFC card.
Here we go. Here's a triangle. He's got to figure for it. He got it. This is tight. This is very tight. This is as deep as they get. Wow. Squeezing with everything.
Kid's out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then he gets his arm broke.
What are you doing? It's done.
Oh my God. That's awful. The kid gets choked out, and then he gets his arm broke, and then comes to get
Apparently
his arm broke.
came to.
And got his arm broke.
Yeah, so apparently this referee.
They should.
Let's see if I have him here.
That's him?
No. His name is Frank Colazzo, and he apparently, I don't know if it's absolutely true, but he apparently was a judge at the next UFC event, the San Antonio event, after this crazy thing.
It's a tough job. I get that. But there has got to be some sort of change, man.
Yeah. So apparently, according to Daily Mail, he was a judge at the UFC San Antonio event the day after, which is insane. So many fighters are calling for him to be fired, and
scary. You can't have him working, let alone the low level stuff. But you can't have him work the biggest league in the fucking world. It's just insane, man.
Yeah,
insane. And
this I just thought was super funny. This is for You're All Fighting, and the title says, "This made me feel weird."
Makes you feel weird because you're two gay men. The guy looks scared on the left. He's all like,
But turns out here's a fight which
the
we
guy on the
can't
left
show.
win?
What's up?
Did the guy on the left win?
The white dude?
Yeah.
I'll show you right now.
Well, Russian. Oh.
Yeah. So he did win.
Oh, the white guy's awful.
So the fight was
jacked.
stopped after this, yeah. Which we can't show, but then this is them afterwards. They're homies.
Yeah,
They're good to go.
Homies.
They're good to go.
Yeah, no, they're homies. Yeah, that was weird. That whole thing was strange.
I know. All right, let's see.
For those of you watching, it's just a left hook, clips him behind there, and he gets knocked out right away.
That's it.
Yeah, the biggest thing of the weekend is my boy Jorge Masvidal, Gambred Boxing, got a good one for you guys. It's on Fight Companion. I'm sorry, it's UFC Fight Pass. We're not doing Fight Companion for it. There's UFC Fight Pass. It's pay-per-view on Fight Pass, I guess. Is that what they call it? So you got your main event, Roy Jones Jr. versus the legend himself, Anthony Showtime Pettis, Jose Aldo, Jeremy Stevens, Vitor Belfort, Jacare Souza, Pearl Gonzalez. It's a fun card, man. I'll definitely be watching. Shout out to Jorge for pulling this off, man. It's a big deal. So shout out to him, all the boys doing the damn thing over there at Gambred Boxing, man. They're doing it. So make sure you check them out. If you're in the Milwaukee area, go get tickets. You get to see some of the greatest to ever compete in combat sports. Put it on the line, and that is this Saturday, April 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right? So make sure you check that out. You do have a Bellator as well. My girl Kat Zingano is fighting. Outside that, anything else?
Just the PFL.
PFL doing the damn
quick.
thing. Marlon Moraes is fighting, right? My boy
Yeah,
Brendan
Loughnane. Yep.
Yeah, Brendan's a badass. Love his name.
And that's pretty much it, though.
That's it. All right, kids. Love you guys. Next time I'm on tour is, I think, Atlanta. Well, I'm sorry. I just added April 1st, Pasadena, Schaub and Friends. That is Saturday as well. Saturday, 8 p.m. show, Ice House, Pasadena. The new Ice House, Schaub and Friends. One show only, 8 p.m. Atlanta, Georgia is April 13th through the 15th. So come get you some ATL. La Jolla just got announced. Comedy Store La Jolla is June 2nd through the 4th. Now I'm off to Europe June 15th through, I think, the 25th. And that's Dublin, Cardiff, London, Manchester, Glasgow, Belfast. That's all out there in Europe. So come get you some tickets at thickboy.com or fatkz.com. Is that it?
That's it.
All right, kids. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing. Yes, thank you. Love you. Be nice to each other. See ya.